Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive on Okinawa. We're going to spend the next little while mapping out a 10-day adventure. Get ready to explore this amazing Japanese island. We'll be covering everything from its fascinating history and vibrant culture to those beautiful beaches.
Okinawa really does have it all. It's got that unique blend of Japanese and Ryukyu cultures, which makes it unlike anywhere else.
You're right, it's like a hidden world within Japan. And we're going to help our listeners experience all the best that it has to offer. From castles to coral reefs to delicious cuisine, Okinawa has something for everyone.
Definitely. And for anyone traveling there, I think the perfect place to start is Naha, the capital city. It's got this vibrant energy. You can explore bustling markets, try different foods, and just get a feel for modern Okinawan life.
Sounds like the perfect home base. And I know everyone wants to hear about those beaches, but before we get there, I'm curious about Shuri Castle. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, right?
That's right. It was once the palace of the Ryukyu kings. You can just imagine the history within those walls. Intricate red-tiled roofs, sprawling courtyards, gardens overlooking the city. It's a glimpse into Okinawa's royal past.
Wow, a castle with ocean views. That's going straight onto my list. So what else is a must-do while in Naha?
Well, you can't miss Kokusaidori, also known as International Street. This is where you'll find tons of shops packed with souvenirs, the aroma of Okinawan soba filling the air, and probably a few street performers to keep you entertained.
I can already picture it.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've talked about beaches and history, but are there any museums in Naha that are worth a visit?
If you're interested in really diving into Okinawa's story, the Okinawa Prefectural Museum is a must. It covers everything from the Ryukyu Kingdom to the impact of World War II. It can be heavy, but it's an important part of understanding the island's past.
I agree. Understanding the history adds so much depth to traveling. Okay, I think now's the perfect time to talk about those beaches. Which ones are easily accessible from Naha?
Oh, there are some beautiful ones just a short trip south of Naha. Emerald Beach is a perfect example. Sparkling turquoise waters, white sand, palm trees swaying in the breeze.
That sounds amazing. Are there any other beaches in the south that we should check out?
Manza Beach is another great option. Super clear water, which makes it perfect for snorkeling. And you know it's great, after you've had your fill of swimming, you can head over to the Itamen Fish Market.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Well, it's a bustling market right by the beach. It's an experience in itself, plus you get to enjoy the freshest seafood possible.
Okay, now I'm really hungry. We've talked about the south, but what about the north? Is it worth a day trip?
Absolutely. In the north, you'll find the Okinawa Churami Aquarium. It's one of the largest aquariums in the world, home to whale sharks, manta rays, and all sorts of incredible marine life.
Whale sharks. That's incredible. Anything else up there besides the aquarium?
Definitely. Right next door is Ocean Expo Park. You can catch a dolphin show, wander through botanical gardens, and even check out exhibits featuring traditional Okinawan houses and crafts. It's easy to spend a whole day there.
Okay, that's going on the list for sure. Now, I always love finding those hidden gems, those off-the-beaten-path places. What do you recommend in the north?
I think Bice Village is the perfect place for that. This charming village is known for its traditional Ryukyu houses, red-tiled roofs, unique stone walls. It's like stepping back in time.
Yeah.
And you might even see some traditional crafts being made like bingata dyeing or pottery.
That sounds incredible.
Oh,
Okay, so we've covered beaches in the south, marine wonders in the north, but we haven't really touched on Okinawa's natural side.
you're absolutely right. For that, you have to head to Daisuke National Park. Think incredible limestone formations, lush forests, panoramic ocean views. It's perfect for hiking.
I'm already imagining myself on those trails.
Yeah.
Anything else for those of us who want to experience the power of nature?
How about venturing underground? The Gokisendo Cave is one of Japan's largest limestone caves. It's this whole other world down there. Stalactites, stalagmites. It's really awe-inspiring.
Now that we've covered castles, beaches, caves, and everything in between, I think it's time to talk about food. I'm getting hungry just thinking about all that exploring.
Well, if you love seafood, Okinawa is going to be a dream. The waters surrounding the island are teeming with life. I mean, we're talking incredibly fresh fish, shellfish, seaweed, you name it.
Oh, fresh seafood is a must. But I want to hear about those unique dishes, those flavors you can only find in Okinawa. What do I absolutely have to try?
Definitely Goya champuru. It's a stir-fried dish with Goya, which is this bitter melon. It's a staple ingredient in Okinawan cuisine. Might sound a little different, but the bitterness is balanced out with tofu, pork, and other veggies. You just have to try it.
Okay, Goya champuru it is. I'm always up for new culinary experiences. Now, I know you mentioned pork. What about for meat lovers? Any recommendations there?
Oh, you have to try Refute. It's this incredible braised pork belly, slow cooked in a sweet and savory sauce. Imagine melt-in-your-mouth tenderness.
Okay, my mouth is watering. What about something a little lighter, something refreshing? I'm thinking tropical flavors.
Have you ever heard of umibudo? They're these little green clusters, kind of like tiny grapes, and they have this amazing salty ocean flavor. They're called sea grapes, and they're perfect for a hot day.
Sea grapes. That's a new one for me. Okay, so we've got our food all planned out. We've explored beaches, castles, caves. I think it's time to put it all together. Let's map out our 10-day adventure.
All right, let's do it. Let's start with day one. You arrive in Naha, settle into your hotel, and head straight for Kokusai-dori. Get a feel for the city, maybe grab some dinner, and just soak up the atmosphere.
Love it. What about day 2?
Day 2 is all about the Ryukyu Kingdom. We'll start at Shuri Castle, explore its history, then we'll head to the Prefectural Museum to learn even more about Okinawa's past.
It's amazing how much history is packed into this one island. Okay, so history on day 2. What about day 3?
Beaches. Day 3 is all about those southern shores. Emerald Beach is calling. Imagine crystal clear waters, soft sand, palm trees, pure relaxation.
I can practically feel the sand between my toes.
And after a relaxing morning, we'll head over to Manza Beach for more swimming and snorkeling, and then enjoy some fresh seafood at the Itaman Fish Market.
This itinerary is making me so excited. Okay, so we've explored Naha, we've relaxed on the beaches. What's in store for day 4?
Day 4 is all about those underwater wonders. We're heading north to the Okinawa Churami Aquarium to see those whale sharks and manta rays. And then in the afternoon, we'll explore Ocean Expo Park, catch a dolphin show, and maybe even learn about traditional crafts.
That sounds like an action-packed day. What about day 5?
Day 5 is all about culture and history. We'll start by visiting the charming Beast Village to experience traditional Okinawan architecture and maybe even witness some crafts being made. And then we'll spend the afternoon at the Ryuki Glass Village watching skilled artisans create beautiful glass pieces.
Okay, that's day 5. Culture, crafts, and history. What about day 6? More nature.
Absolutely. Day 6 is all about the natural beauty of Okinawa. We're heading to Daisakuren National Park. Think stunning limestone formations, lush forests, panoramic ocean views. It's a hiker's paradise.
I love it. And what are we having for lunch with those breathtaking views?
Let's pack a picnic. We'll find a scenic spot and enjoy our lunch surrounded by nature.
A picnic with a view. Perfect. What about day 7? More exploring or back to the city?
Day 7 is another adventure day. We're going underground. We'll explore the incredible Gyokusendo Cave and then enjoy the beauty of Okumulji Park. And for dinner, I'm thinking a local BBQ spot.
Okay, I'm sold. Now, I know we've packed a lot into the first 7 days. What about day 8?
Day 8 is all yours. It's a free day, do whatever you like. Revisit your favorite spot, explore something new, or simply relax and recharge.
That's so important. What are some things you'd recommend for this free day?
You could visit local markets, take a cooking class, explore more beaches, go snorkeling or diving, or just relax at your accommodations and enjoy the amenities.
The possibilities are endless. All right, we're coming up on the end of our trip. What's on the agenda for day 9?
Day 9 is all about returning to Naha for some last-minute souvenir shopping and a farewell dinner. Maybe revisit a favorite restaurant or try something new.
Always bittersweet saying goodbye to an amazing destination. And finally, day 10.
Day 10 is departure day. Time to say goodbye to this incredible island.
Wow, it feels like we've experienced a lifetime in just 10 days. But hold on, everyone. We still have more to cover. We'll be back in part 2 with essential travel tips, packing essentials, and some final thoughts to inspire you before your trip. Stay tuned.
Can't wait. You know, what really strikes me about Okinawa is how it can be so many things to so many people. It's like this perfect mix of relaxation, adventure, culture, history.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it so appealing to travelers. But before we all get too carried away dreaming about beaches, we should probably talk about some practical stuff. You know, things our listeners should know before they even pack their bags. What do you think?
Absolutely. A little planning goes a long way, right? First things first, make sure your passport is valid for at least 6 months after your planned return date.
Oh yeah, that's super important. What about visas? Do most travelers need one to enter Japan?
For a lot of countries, including the US, Canada, and many European countries, you can stay for up to 90 days without a visa. But it's always a good idea to check the specific requirements based on your nationality, just to be safe.
Always good to double check.
Yeah.
Now let's talk money. What's the currency in Okinawa, and is it best to exchange money before arriving?
The currency is the Japanese yen, and honestly, I usually find it easiest to use ATMs once I arrive. You'll find them pretty much everywhere.
Okay, good to know. What about credit cards? Are they widely accepted?
Yeah, you'll be fine using credit cards in most larger establishments like hotels, big restaurants, department stores. But it's always smart to have some cash on hand, especially if you're planning to visit smaller shops, local markets, or using local transportation.
Makes sense. A mix of cash and card is always a good idea when traveling. Now, Okinawa is an island, so how do you recommend people get around and explore all those amazing spots we talked about?
Okinawa does have public transportation, and the buses are pretty reliable for getting between the main cities and towns. But if you really want to explore at your own pace, especially if you're interested in those more remote beaches or hidden spots, I definitely recommend renting a car.
Yeah, especially with all the beaches, parks, and villages on our itinerary, a car seems like it would offer a lot more freedom. What's driving, like, in Okinawa? Anything our listeners should be aware of?
Well, the biggest thing to remember is that they drive on the left side of the road in Japan. That takes a little getting used to if you're not from a country that does that.
Oh, that's right. Good reminder. What about road conditions? And are the signs in English as well as Japanese?
Yeah, the roads are generally well maintained, and you'll find a lot of signs in both English and Japanese. To rent a car, you'll need an international driving permit. It's pretty easy to get before your trip. And of course, seatbelts are mandatory for everyone in the car, and using a cell phone while driving is definitely a no-no. Safety first.
Absolutely. Speaking of safety, let's talk packing essentials. What are some things our listeners should make sure they have in their suitcases for a trip to Okinawa?
Okinawa has a subtropical climate, so the key is to pack light, breathable clothing. Think shorts, t-shirts, comfortable walking shoes for all that exploring we'll be doing. And of course, don't forget your swimsuit and a beach cover-up.
Okay, beachwear is at the top of the list. Any tips for enjoying those beaches safely and responsibly?
Well, sunscreen is your best friend. Even if it's a cloudy day, the sun in Okinawa can be strong. So pack a high SPF sunscreen and reapply it often, especially after swimming.
Got it. Sun protection is essential. What else is a must-have for a beach day?
I'd say a hat, sunglasses, and a reusable water bottle are essential. And if you're planning to do any snorkeling or diving, make sure to pack or rent the appropriate gear. The underwater world in Okinawa is something else.
All right, so we've got sun protection, hydration, and beach gear all covered. Anything else you think our listeners should pack to make their trip more comfortable and enjoyable?
Oh, and a universal adapter is crucial. Japan uses different electrical outlets than many other countries, so having an adapter will save you a lot of hassle. And if you're someone who attracts mosquitoes, I'd pack some insect repellent, especially for the evenings when you're spending time outdoors.
Great tips. Okay, I think a lot of our listeners might be wondering about the language barrier. Is that something they should be concerned about? I know they want to really immerse themselves in Okinawan culture, but is communication going to be a challenge?
Well, Japanese is the official language, but you'll find that English is spoken in a lot of tourist areas and larger cities. You'll also see English on signs and menus in those places. But it never hurts to learn a few basic Japanese phrases. It shows respect for the local culture. And even a simple hello or thank you can make a big difference.
I totally agree. Even a little effort goes a long way. Now, what about etiquette? Are there any cultural customs or norms our listeners should know about to avoid any awkward situations?
Definitely. One of the big ones is removing your shoes when you enter someone's home, a temple, or some traditional restaurants. You'll usually see a place to leave your shoes near the entrance.
It's amazing how these little things can really give you a deeper understanding of a culture. What else? Any other etiquette tips?
Okay, here's a fun one. Slurping your noodles is actually considered polite in Japan. It shows you're enjoying your meal. But one thing to avoid is sticking your chopsticks upright in your rice bowl. It's associated with funeral rituals and considered bad luck.
Oh, that's good to know. I love those little cultural insights. Now, what about tipping? Is that something people do in Okinawa?
Actually, no. Tipping isn't really customary in Japan. It can even be a little awkward or seen as insulting. Good service is just expected as part of the culture. It's not really tied to additional payment.
So, no need to worry about calculating tips. That's good to know. On a more serious note, let's talk about safety. How safe is Okinawa for tourists?
Overall, Okinawa is really safe. The crime rate is pretty low. But like anywhere else, it's always a good idea to use common sense and be aware of your surroundings.
Absolutely. Better safe than sorry. Any specific safety tips our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, just be mindful of your belongings, especially in crowded places. Maybe avoid walking alone at night in unfamiliar areas or places that aren't well lit.
Like it.
And if you go hiking, let someone know your plans and stay on the marked trails.
All good advice. Now, we've covered a lot of practical information, but I think it's also important to talk about the overall atmosphere and the people. What can our listeners expect when they interact with the locals?
The Okinawan people are truly some of the warmest and most welcoming people you'll meet. They have this beautiful concept called Eateries, which means something like, once we meet, we are friends.
Ah, I love that. It sounds like Okinawa is a place where you can really feel a sense of connection with the people. How can our listeners embrace that spirit of Ichiriba during their travels?
Just be open to engaging with the locals, even if it's just a smile or a simple greeting. Be open to trying new things, and most importantly, show respect for the local culture and customs. It's really all about embracing that spirit of connection and shared experience.
That's beautifully said. Before we wrap up part two, any final thoughts or words of wisdom you'd like to share with our listeners?
More than anything, I think Okinawa is a place that nourishes the soul. It's a place where you can reconnect with nature, immerse yourself in history and culture, and just embrace a slower, more mindful way of life.
Okay, so we've explored castles and caves, dreamt about beaches and bitter melon, and even learned how to slurp our noodles the right way. Now I think it's time to really personalize this adventure and figure out the best time to visit Okinawa.
You got it. And the good news is Okinawa has a subtropical climate, so there's really no bad time to go. You're pretty much guaranteed warm temperatures and sunshine all year round.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But are there any particular seasons that are extra special, extra magical?
I'd say spring and autumn are the sweet spots. You get that mild, pleasant weather, perfect for exploring, plus you avoid the summer crowds and those typhoons that can pop up.
Okay, so spring for cherry blossoms and autumn for those beautiful colors sounds like a win-win. Now, I think a lot of people might be wondering about the cost. Is Okinawa a splurge destination, or can budget travelers enjoy it too?
Honestly, Okinawa has something for everyone. You can find budget-friendly places to stay, delicious street food for just a few yen, and tons of free things to do, like exploring those incredible beaches and parks. And of course, if you want to go all out, there are some incredible luxury resorts and fine dining experiences too.
So no matter your budget, there's a way to experience Okinawa. Now, before we wrap up, let's go back to that packing list one last time. What are those absolute must-haves that our listeners should make sure to pack?
Well, considering all the exploring we'll be doing, comfortable shoes are a must. Make sure you've got some good walking shoes or sandals that can handle both city streets and nature trails.
Okay, comfort and practicality. What about those beaches? What should we pack to make the most of those?
Obviously, don't forget your swimsuit. A light cover-up is always good to have, too. And of course, sunglasses, a hat, and maybe even a good book.
Sounds like the perfect beach day. Now, we can't forget about sun protection. What do you recommend?
Sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. It's so important, especially with that Okinawa sun. Go for a high SPF and reapply it often, especially after swimming or sweating.
Got it. Sun protection is definitely top of mind. All right, I think we've covered everything from packing and transportation to food and culture. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners before they head off on their Okinawa adventure?
More than anything, I'd say go with an open mind and an open heart. Be present, soak it all in, and embrace those serendipitous moments that make traveling so special.
I love that. So to all our listeners out there, get ready to explore the magic of Okinawa. Immerse yourselves in the culture, connect with the friendly locals, and savor every moment. And remember, the best memories are often the unexpected ones.
Absolutely. Happy travels, everyone.
That's a wrap on our Okinawa Deep Dive. We hope you feel inspired and ready to plan your own adventure. Until next time, keep exploring.